My next guest is pop royalty.
Over.
Well, come on, you know it's true. We're in Pride Month, aren't we?
We are.
Officially. But there's lots of events that happen later on in the summer too.
Yeah, I mean, June is traditionally Pride Month, but it doesn't mean that you can't be kind the other 11 months of the year, you know.
True. Yeah.
That's the message, just be kind.
And you say that your two lads, your twins,
My
have
boys.
encouraged you to... Well, not encouraged you, but they've inspired you to write this book. They're still in primary school, aren't they? And I suppose in some ways, when we have children, you see yourself in them and you think, well, who was I then? And I suppose little H was a confused little boy, possibly, at that point, with nowhere to turn to.
When I was growing up in school, you know, there was no reading matter. I didn't see myself in any TV shows or movies or books.
And when you say that, what do you mean that you couldn't find anyone?
Well, I couldn't identify with people the names that I was being called. And obviously, when I was in school, Section 28 was heavily in force, so there was no reading matter available at all. So this...
Section 28 was that you're not allowed to promote homosexuality.
But this is not promoting. This little book is about celebrating...
Well, Section 28 doesn't exist
No, it doesn't,
anymore,
no. But that's what's insane, that we're allowed to do this now. It's all about celebration and making people aware that there are all kinds of people in the world. You know, being different is your superpower, and that's exactly what my book, Pride and the Rainbow Warriors, is about.
And you know, is it in all primary schools in Wales now?
Yeah, so we're going to get it in...
Well done.
Yeah, thank you. It's a really important little book, and it's the book I wish I had when I was growing up. It's the book that my children will have and their friends. It's really exciting. It shows the importance of Pride, the origins of Pride, why we celebrate Pride, who can celebrate Pride. And it's not just about being gay. It's about if you wear glasses, if you have one arm, if you're in a wheelchair, if you're a different colour. You know, it's all about being unique.
And it's really interesting because, you know, on the fringes of the news occasionally you go, oh, some council wants to take down the Pride flag, somebody's complained about something. And, you know, other people, I mean, reasonably well-meaning people go, why do they need to go on about it? Why do they need to bang on about it all month, eh? You know, people do think like that. So I want you to explain to those people, listen, things might have changed, but there are still real issues going on for young people who are trying to come out.
I live in the most beautiful town called Cowbridge, and we are in our 5th year of Pride now. So this Sunday, we will have our Pride March, and there are thousands of people marching through the town. The town hall is decorated with rainbow flowers. The shops have bunting. The libraries do workshop. We raise money for workshops for schools, for parents, for resources. It's such a joyous celebration of community. We have the WI, we have the Scouts, we have the Male Voice Choir, we have the schools. It's all about celebrating us being together. It's so beautiful.
And the point being also that some of the stats are still quite alarming, aren't they, about, well, the number of young people who might end up homeless because they've come out as gay or whatever, LGBTQ. And Britain has plummeted from being the best place in Europe for LGBTQ plus rights in 2015 to 10 years later, we're now 22nd. What's that down to? Why is it harder almost now?
It's a really scary time to be LGBTQI plus. There is a rhetoric that's been spouted that demonises LGBTQI plus people, and we just want the same as everybody else. We just want you to be kind.
Yeah.
I don't want acceptance, I want respect. And that's the same as any other person in our community.
Yeah, it's fascinating because I think from the outside, if you're not experiencing it or if you don't have a family member who's experiencing it, you think, oh, well, it's all sorted now. You can get married, you can do that, you know, it's all fine. But actually, from the inside looking out, it's quite a different world, isn't it? And you experienced a very different era at the height of your fame, maybe I should call it that, fame, being threatened with being outed.
Yeah, I mean, the 90s was a very different time to be a pop star. You know, you had to be very single, you had to be very available and very straight. You know, otherwise it would damage your brand, it would alienate your fans. So, you know, a lot of people in bands at the time lived with the threat of being outed weekly. So it was a very, very scary time. And, you know, that's why it's just incredible that we are living in the world we are today, that we've come so far.
And, of course, none of this would have happened without Pride Month, without constant campaigning.
Yep.
Can you just give me a sense of, you know, if there's a flashback, if there's a memory of being in Steps, living this pop star life, and H on the inside being actually shaking and worried? What were there specific moments that come to mind?
Many times, because, you know, when we were on stage, we had dance partners, and back in the day, we would always have opposite sex dance partners. But then fast forward to our recent tours, I always have a male dance partner.
Do you?
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no bells and whistles. It's just very matter of fact. And for me, my children to see me on stage, for other families to see, OK, we can do that. Boys can marry boys, girls can marry girls. But as my children say, a T-Rex can't marry a pterodactyl.
There are some rules. There are some rules in the dinosaur world that must not be broken.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. And you've got your Moolah.
Yes.
Which, I mean,
are we
allowed to mention
we can. We got into some deep water because we have a festival happening in Cowbridge. It was called Cowchella, which was a cheeky nod to Coachella.
Reasonable.
Yes. But now it's called Moolah.
Because of a legal move.
Yeah, a legal move.
Yeah.
So that's on the 2nd of August. And if you can't afford a grand to see Beyonce in California, you can come to Cowbridge.
Come to Cowbridge.
And see Steps for 20 quid.
I absolutely love that. Right, super stuff. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And this is a brilliant book, and congratulations. And I hear rumours, could it be turned into an animation?
We're having talks about animations and, yeah, very exciting stuff, yeah.
Well, what a lovely thing. It's you're using your experience, your life to, well, put goodness in the world, as you did with Steps.
Thank you.
And now you're doing it in a different
It's simple.
way.
Just be kind, right?
Be kind, yeah, and keep campaigning, because, as we say, the stats don't tell the full story of, you know, of true life these days, even if you are trying to come out. Yeah, super stuff. Thank you. Pride and the Rainbow Warriors is out now.